All right, so today we are going to learn one of the most important and powerful concepts in JavaScript, and that is functions. Functions allow you to write a block of code once and then use it again and again whenever needed. Let us first understand what a function is. A function is simply a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. Now, to create a function in JavaScript, we use the function keyword. Here's the basic structure of a function. So we write function and then function name and then open the brackets and then curly brackets and under that brackets. Code to be executed. Let me give you an example. We will create a function to say hello. So to write it first, we do function. Then function name, you can give anything I am giving, say hello, open the brackets, and then curly brackets. And under the brackets, let's do console log. Hello there, this is a function. Now, this function will not run automatically. To run or execute it, we need to call it by writing its name, followed by brackets like this. Say hello. When we call this function, it'll run the code inside and print the message. So if I run the file, you see it's printing. Hello there, this is a function. Now let us talk about parameters. Sometimes we want to pass some values to our function. These values are called parameters. Let me give you an example. So if we create a function greet user, and now under that brackets, we give parameters. Right, so let me give name, and then open the curly brackets, and here I write console log hello plus name. Here, name is a parameter, and when we call the function, we can give it a value like this, greet user John. And now, when we run the file, you see, this will print hello John. You can also pass more than one parameter by separating them with commas. So for example, if I create a function add numbers and I give two parameters like this, a comma b, and then open the curly brackets and do console.log o plus b, and now when we call the function, we give two numbers. Right. So let me do add numbers, 5, 10. So here, 5 is A and 10 is B. And when we run the file, this will print 15. Now, let us talk about the return keyword. Sometimes you want your function to calculate something and give back a result. In that case, you use return. For example, if we create a function to multiple, so function multiply, a comma b, and we do return a multiply b, and here now, if we create a variable name result and call a function multiply and give two numbers, 4, 5. And now if we do console log result. So what happens here is, first we created a variable. Then when we called the function, the multiply function runs and it multiplies 4 by 5 and returns the result. So the value that comes from multiplying 4 and 5, we saved it in the result variable, right? And now we'll print it using console.log. So if I run the file now, you can see we're getting 20 as the output, but keep in mind, return sends the value back to where the function was called and ends the function execution note that if you use return, then nothing after it will run inside the function. So in summary, we learned about how to create a function, how to pass parameters to it, and how to return values from it, ETW. When your project grows bigger, it is better to divide your code into different files. This keeps your code clean and organized. To use a function from another file, you need to export the function from one file and import it into another. Let us say we have a file named math.js. In that file, we will create a function to add two numbers. So we do function, and I'll give a function name add, and then a comma b, and under curly brackets, we do return a plus b. Now to use this function in a different file, we have to export it right. So to export it, we write module.exports =, function name, which is add in my case. Now, in your main file, let us say index.js. You want to use that function. So you will write this. So first you have to import that function. So to import it, we do constant function name =, require. And here, file path. And then we create a variable name result, and we do let result =, add 10, 5. And now when we console log, the result is plus result. And run the file, you see it's giving the correct output. So you see first we used const to import the add function from the math.js file using require. After that, we created a variable called result, and by calling the function here, we got the result. so you see how cool and clean this code is. And yes, the require I used here is how it works in CommonJS. And I personally use CommonJS for my Discord bots. But if you're using ES modules instead of CommonJS, then the way you export things is different. But Don, all right, don't go too deep for now. I'll explain the difference between ES modules and CommonJS in one of the upcoming videos. So that's it for today's video. And yes, make sure to join our Discord because I give tasks there related to the videos I make so you all can keep learning and practicing.